Welcome to the third episode of us counting down, doing Springsteen song knockouts. If you have not heard the first two episodes, please go back and listen. We are down to the Sweet 16. I am Jesse Jackson. Joining me today is Darrin, Henrik, Steve, Timothy, Rachel, and Jaclyn, and Chris, who is our master of ceremony. So we are down to 16 songs, and we will probably end up doing a little more discussion on this, but take it away, Chris.
Okay, so the first match is Born to Run against Growing Up. So Born to Run.
Oh my God.
Growing Up. Okay, so 5-1.
We may not need
Rachel.
discussion on some of these.
On some of
Yes.
them, no.
Yeah, I think so.
Born to Run speaks for itself.
Yeah.
Okay. Darkness on the Edge of Town, or If I Should Fall Behind. Darkness on the Edge of Town.
Yep.
Okay, so that's 5-1 to Darkness. Racing in the Street or Jungle Land? Racing in the Street.
All right, so here we go. Two classics, right?
Not two heavyweights.
Yeah, this is two very heavyweights. Go ahead, Chris. Curious to see how this one comes
Okay,
out.
so who's going for Racing in the Street?
Pedal to the middle.
3 and Jungle Land. Jesse,
See, I
yours
feel
is-
like this is not fair for me to make this choice.
Why don't we have
because-
Chris make that
Yeah,
decision?
Chris, why don't you make this choice? I am going to advocate my decision to Chris.
okay, this one is a difficult because
Maybe
racing,
Chris and you and I both should vote, because I'm going to vote for Racing in the Streets.
Yeah.
I also feel that way. Like Jungle Land is iconic, especially like Clarence's solo.
Yeah.
There's nothing better before going to bed at night to have a glass of red wine and watch one of the old 78 or 80 videos of Jungle Land live in concert and Clarence's solo, and then that's just a perfect end of an evening. But also Racing in the Street is
Both
I think
iconic, but I will tell you one of my favorite concert memories ever was April 2008 here in Dallas. It was Clarence's last time that I ever saw him with the E Street Band. He had been having difficulty the entire time. You could tell he was hurt and injured, and he gets up there at Jungle Land, and I swear to God, there wasn't a single person who made a single noise. Everybody in that arena was completely transfixed with Clarence. You could hear the proverbial pin drop, and it was the most spectacular, amazing thing I've ever personally heard. Was Jungle Land, April 2008, hearing Clarence do it live. It was perfection.
I feel like Clarence, he whenever he plays, it's always that reaction because he was like the crowd favorite. Maybe I love Nils, don't get me wrong. Nils is my favorite guitarist,
fantastic.
but Clarence was the king.
He was, but again, that moment is indelibly. And then later on in that same show, John Bon Jovi came out, and they both did Glory Days together. It was just fantastic.
Yeah.
But that particular moment was just spectacular because, again, it was the last time I ever saw him live in concert. And again, without that song, you wouldn't have had that moment because anyway.
And I like
valid.
racing. I was gonna say I like Racing in the Street because it's the ultimate freedom in a society that wants to pigeonhole you.
It is.
And Racing in the Street would get my vote. Forget that it's Jungle Land, and all joking aside, because as Timothy said earlier, I'm wrong and I know it. When I first started listening to Bruce, I was in my, which I still am to a certain degree, in Brian Wilson and Beach Boy obsession. And Racing in the Street was like a grown-up Beach Boy song to me. Go Little Deuce Coupe, 409, Shut It Down, and all of a sudden we went from being a YA to an adult novel. So that's why I would pick Racing in the Street.
And I don't
also,
know. I was gonna say, I don't know why, but I always think of the book The Outsiders whenever I think of racing in the street.
Yes, I agree. That's really well said.
And
Uh,
as much as Jungle Land is maybe Clarence's showcase, I think Racing in the Street is Roy's showcase.
Yeah.
Like I've heard
Yeah.
some of the intros to some of those live shows are just brilliant. It's like almost like a classical.
Oh yeah,
concert.
it's a cinematic moment for sure.
Yeah, it's
Very cinematic.
Yeah.
it's a music novel.
And,
Yeah.
and
One of the saddest lines in any song or book is she just sits on the porch of her daddy's house. All her
And-
pretty dreams been torn.
Rachel,
which is
That's my case for the song, because first time I ever listened to Racing in the Street, I was 19. I was a freshman in college. If you follow my Twitter account, you know how open I am about my mental health and depression and anxiety and all of that. I was super depressed, completely unmedicated. Like, that was my lyric that I clung to. So that's always my case for the song. Not that in and of itself,
let's hope when you're
freaking song.
let's hope when you're older you don't feel the same way.
And one of the things that when I had a guest on when he was answering the Mary question, he said she gets in the car, but it's not happy. And she's on the porch and Racing in the Street, which is the same porch she walks across in Thunder Road.
Ooh, wow.
Yeah, I identified them together in my brain as well when it comes to Mary, but
All right, so anyone
well,
else
I'm
want to
gonna-
make an argument for either one before we vote
also,
again?
can I also say that even though I'm a woman, I feel like Racing in the Street is the ultimate love story between a man and his car. His car is his symbol for freedom. And in a world, in a society that wants to control you.
Preach.
I think that's good. Anyone else? All right, Chris, you want to call for the vote again?
Okay, so we're gonna revote. Okay, so Racing in the Street
It changed.
okay, so 4-2 to Racing in the Street. All right.
Wow. See you later, Jungle Land.
I would have gone for Racing in the Street anyway if I'd been the
Thankfully, I can put it
tiebreaker.
on my turntable in just a few minutes, so it's not
Yeah.
going away forever. It's
Exactly.
still
Yes.
Okay, so The River or I'll Work for Your Love? The River?
Oh,
No, really.
Yeah, I'll
So
Work
it's
for Your
4.
Love had a good run, but it was time.
Yeah,
It
Right?
was.
It overachieved in the tournament. Hey, kid, good job. But yes,
It's
Sit
all
down,
running
Gonzaga.
into a buzzsaw.
yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
in my
Thunder Road,
of the pregnancy remark.
Yes.
Thunder
Ooh.
Road or Drive All Night? Thunder Road. Okay, so 4 Thunder Road,
Mm.
1 for Drive All Night. Oh, Jaclyn, Thunder Road or Drive All Night? Thunder Road, I
Drive.
think.
All right.
Oh, Drive.
I'm
Okay.
surprised.
She wants those shoes.
Yes. Yes.
Okay. Tunnel of Love or Land of Hope and Dreams? Tunnel of Love.
Oh no!
Oh.
Oh no! My worst nightmare. Damn it. Okay.
So 2 for Tunnel.
Rach, we got right now 2 for Tunnel. All right.
Land of Hope and Dreams.
I have to.
Okay.
Yep.
Yeah.
Tough one. Tougher than the rest or One Step Up? Tougher than the rest.
Yeah.
Okay, so 4-2.
Funny, we ended up with both 2
I was gonna say
Tunnel of Love hitting each other. That's
I was gonna
interesting.
say, should this be a discussion? Because I feel like Tunnel of Love is a lot of people really love that album because of the whole divorce thing. But if I know we have a lot of men in here, so maybe they don't want to talk about their feelings.
No.
But I feel like Tunnel of Love album is my second favorite album. Darkness is my first. But
You're
it's like
correct there.
darkness is the young adult going into life, and then Tunnel of Love is okay, I've experienced life and I gotta cut my losses and I gotta find a way to heal.
Yeah.
Tunnel of Love is one of my favorite albums, and I think when I was first on Jesse's podcast, I just got divorced. I think
I'm
I actually
sorry.
said, but no, don't be. I'm not.
I love the honesty.
But anyway, no, I was listening to it shortly after that, and I just couldn't. I had to turn it off because it sort of cut too close to the bone.
You know, that's just a funny.
At that time,
I think you're so right, Jaclyn. Like from what I know so far, it seems like it would be that way. But it's so funny because looking back, like I think when I first did my deep dive into Bruce, Tunnel of Love was heavier on my rotation than I think anything else.
I feel like it identifies with a lot of women, but I feel like Bruce wrote it as a way to show, like, you know what, I'm defeated, and what I'm gonna give in to this situation, and
yes,
I'm at a loss. Like he's so down on himself.
And one of the things that I mentioned, and then there's the exception that proves the rule. I always say that you either need to have been in a relationship for a long time or had your heart broken a couple times to appreciate Tunnel of Love. And then I will get some 19-year-old that will say, oh, Tunnel of Love's my favorite album, which blows that theory to hell. Yeah, I think it's great that we have two songs from Tunnel of Love going against each other. It's almost when in sport where you have two brothers that are playing against opposing teams, and the parents like wear a jersey cut in half, showing both of them like, oh, I don't want to.
Yeah, and I feel like with the previous albums before Tunnel, he was like jovial and let's party, let's express and show our love of our individual freedom, and and make love and have guitars and cars. And then this one, it was like cut at the Achilles heel, and I gotta find a way to get back on my feet again.
Yeah.
What's that?
It's Springsteen. He's got
not a lot of men will
rocker,
show
and
their
he's got
emotion.
Nebraska. So
especially in the 80s, men are not taught to show their emotions. So I thought it was very brave.
Yeah.
I love the whole album.
And I'll agree with Jaclyn on this album being brave, because I think we referenced it in episode 1, where he can knock out Lions Dens and Pink Cadillacs and just the fun rock songs that aren't necessarily anything spectacular. They're just, you go to the outtakes album for one of those box sets, and he can knock that, or I guess it's tracks in that case, but he can knock out that stuff all day long. Tunnel is the one where he actually, it wasn't just a glimpse of his psyche and his mental state. This was the deep dive into his mental state and his mental state with Julianne and the whole 9 yards.
It's definitely a much more personal album than any of the others, and he may have always written songs that was part him, but this was definitely much more him. And
this is his blood on the tracks.
Yeah, and I will agree with Chris, get divorced and you'll get the meaning of the album.
And I remember someone saying, a critic saying, that it's the story of a marriage falling apart. And when I first heard it, I didn't catch that because we got married in 84. So, we'd only been married 4 or 5 years and everything. So as it's gone, I just love this album. Unfortunately, we've got to pick between the two. So you want to ask again, Chris?
Oh, I've already finalized that. It was tougher than the rest.
Okay, good deal. All right, nice.
Well, one extra thing on Tunnel of Love. Also, like in Walk Like a Man, the way he talks about his father with tenderness, like the way I remember the way your hand felt so rough on mine, or something, or can't remember the exact lyric.
Like
talking about his father in that way, in that sort of, when up to then all his sort of daddy songs had been against him or
fighting,
fighting, but then he remembered like these tender moments.
Yeah,
Anyway,
it's like it was at a time in his own life where he was mature enough to understand that his parents are human beings, as he'd been through similar experiences.
Okay, next
right.
one. Better Days or Rosalita? Better Days.
Better Days.
So that's 4
I
for
am
Better Days.
shocked. Wow, thank you guys.
Yeah, I'm surprised Rosalita made it this far, actually.
I am too.
Yeah. One of my least favorite Bruce songs.
Same
interesting.
here.
Albums, yes.
Yeah.
Live, no. I love it
Well,
live.
yeah, I get you. It's got its charms in the live audience
Yes,
for sure.
I hate it on the album.
I
Right.
was
Interesting.
surprised. I was surprised Bruce said it was his favorite love song.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
Okay.
Interesting. Cool.
So we're into the quarterfinals now.
All right.
And this is where it's absolutely brutal.
Yeah. We're
Okay.
going to be back with the quarterfinals. Give us just a minute. Listen to these wonderful notices, and we'll be right back. All right. Quarterfinals. This is going to be.
Jesse, I've got to roll on this
Okay.
pretty quick.
Okay.
We're
You
going
wanna
over to
put
my
it in
brother's
the-
house.
You want to
Pretty soon.
put it in the chat? Type in the chat what your vote is.
Sure.
Okay.
Because I do have to step away.
Okay. I understand.
Give me the matchup and I'll tell you right now what they are.
Okay, it's Born to Run against Darkness.
Born to Run.
Okay, Racing in the Street against the River.
River.
Thunder Road against Land of Hope
Thunder
and
Road.
Dreams. Tougher Than the Rest against Better Days.
Tougher. And
All right.
then River eventually wins over whatever it's in, and Thunder Road eventually wins over whatever that's in.
Okay.
Okay.
All right.
And
Okay.
all time, I don't care. Flip a coin.
Okay.
All right.
Thunder Road probably, but again, I do have to roll. So
No, you understand. This took very long, so thank you. I appreciate it. I hope everyone else is being able to hang.
Absolutely. Thanks so much for
All right.
everything.
Thanks, everyone.
Great
Cheers,
talking to you,
Tim.
everybody.
Bye, Tim. Nice to
Bye.
meet you.
Thanks.
See y'all later.
Cheers.
Yeah.
Bye.
All right.
Okay.
Here we go.
Born to Run against Darkness. Born to Run. 1.
Only one.
And then but
Surely
then
the screen's frozen if I'm the only one voting.
No, Darkness is the best album. It's the greatest
1.
album.
Yes, but it's the
Let
song.
me say that
now.
again. Born to
Yeah, I
Run.
know, but
Okay.
Just in Darkness on the Edge of Town.
Yep.
Wow. But I know
That's a little bit of an upset to me. Wow.
Tim said Born to Run, didn't he?
Yes,
So-
he did. Yeah. So it's 4-2. Wow.
Oh, wow, that is a
this
that's a
is not
shocker,
going to go
isn't it?
down in history
That's
good.
a shock. Yeah.
I think structurally it's just a better
Wow.
song than Born to Run.
Racing in the Street or the River? Racing in the Street. 5. Okay, and I think Tim said the River, didn't he? But
Yeah, he did.
Yeah.
he's on his own there. Okay. Oh, sorry, it's just taking a couple of seconds to load. So maybe you could say why Racing in the Street is better than the River.
So one of my favorite stories about the river is I was in Nashville and a guy had a sign that said, "It's my 19th birthday, play the river." And we were like, "Have you listened to the song?" Yes, it says my 19th birthday, but I don't really know if that's the song I'm going to be asking to celebrate my birthday.
That song on repeat on my 19th birthday because my 19th birthday was right around when I had gotten into Bruce. I was technically 18, but I had grown up listening to Bruce, but I didn't get real heavy into his music until I was 18, almost 19. It was funny. My dad was at work and my sister and I texted him something so dumb or something. We were like, "Oh, like, where's my union card and wedding card?" Or something ridiculous.
That's funny.
Aha! I see what you did there.
That's great. I turned 64 in June, and I've been telling everyone it's my Beatles birthday. It's my Beatles birthday.
You look like you're 52. Just
Oh,
tell me.
that's very sweet of you. So yeah, so like we'll find out. Are you guys still gonna need me, and will you feed me? All right. Did we
All
catch
right.
up, Chris? Okay.
I'm a bit scared now for this one. Thunder Road against Land of Hope and Dreams. Thunder Road.
Can't believe I'm doing this, but
3, and Land of Hope and Dreams 2, and Tim said Thunder Road, didn't he? So it's going to be.
Oh, this is not fair to make me pick.
Jesse,
No,
come on.
Land of Hope.
no, it's not.
Jesse.
No, it's not, because Thunder Road do Thunder Road again. Who voted Thunder Road?
Oh,
3, yeah. So it's 3 plus
Okay,
Tim.
so Tim is
voted for
4. Okay, good.
Yeah.
Okay, because Land of Hope and Dreams is my favorite song, but
yeah.
but I also, gosh,
Recognize
okay,
It is,
Juggernaut.
it is
yeah,
up there.
that is, that you talk about. Okay, good.
Tougher than the rest or Better Days? Tougher than the rest. 3. I think Tim also said Tougher than the rest.
Yes, he did. Yeah.
Okay, so it's going to be 4-2.
Thank you, Better Days.
Yeah, you were amazing.
Yeah.
Thank you for your
well.
service.
Yes.
Okay, so now we're through to the semi-finals. Darkness on the Edge of Town against Racing in the Street.
Oh no.
Dark-
Oh
No,
no.
no. This is the same album. You can't do this.
Oh, this is strange, isn't it?
We spent a little time on Tunnel of Love, so let's talk a little bit about Darkness. And I'm very worried about time for everyone, but
Yeah.
here you have 2 iconic songs from Darkness that they end up meeting on this. That is, I would pick Racing in the Street because of the previous story, because it's, to me, it was an adult Beach Boy song, which meant a lot to me, though there is
The
like-
outsider of darkness as well.
yeah, and the darkness of, there have been, I don't know if he's ever written a better title. Darkness on the Edge of Town. That is just,
No,
yeah.
When I think of both songs and I think of the album as a whole, Darkness is my beginning and Racing is my end. So I feel like that's such a hard decision for me because I really connect to both songs very heavily.
Is it because you think I'm under that bridge? I'm
that's
not
actually the line
seeing.
that ingrained in my head when I was voting for
'Cause-
Darkness over whatever else it was, because I don't know, something about, well, even
The
though
outsider,
Racing has my little favorite depression lyric in there, I still kind of feel like it's.
But racing is taking the control in your own hands.
That's how I feel. I feel like it's a little bit more of a. That's why I say it's the end to me. The end of one chapter, if you will, the start of another one. I don't know. That's how I visualize it in my head. My phone is at 10%, so if something should happen, just so y'all know, I didn't willingly leave.
Okay, good deal. Anyone else want something?
This Racing is just this reading, and Darkness is maybe his first divorce song. It's not. It feels more.
I feel like
I lost my money and I lost my wife.
Yeah,
which is true for me.
Racing is a love song, but the Darkness is more like, as a marriage falling apart. It's a bigger thing, a bigger loss than just a girlfriend.
See, it's funny you say that because I think it's more an answer to society, because in the past, men were like stereotyped to give money to women in a breakup. And I feel like in my opinion, I feel like he's more answering society's laws and rules and things like that rather than a personal relationship. But I could be wrong.
I could be wrong.
So who's voting for Darkness then? Who's going to vote for Darkness?
I'm voting for Darkness.
Racing in the Street.
And Tim voted for Darkness, I believe, didn't he?
He voted for River, which was beaten by Racing. So I guess he's
good. All right.
So I guess it's 5-1 to.
Okay.
Why am I pressing 8? Hold on, what have I done here?
And I also like Darkness because he says, okay, I don't get the woman, but if she changes her mind, she knows where to find me. It's like he doesn't feel like he's powerful enough to take the reins in his life, whereas in racing he's just like, all right, I've had enough of society and other people telling me what to do. I'm getting behind the wheel now, and this is how I'm gonna find my freedom.
Okay, so just taking it. Okay, and why is it not saving?
Yeah, that'd be horrible if we get all the way this and it goes, I lost.
It's not agreeing with us.
Yes.
Submit scores.
Or whatever we.
Okay, all right, that's done it now. All right,
Okay.
Thunder Road or Tougher Than the Rest? Thunder Road.
Tunnel of Love is a better album than Born to Run, if you ask me. But Thunder
Agree.
Road is something very special.
Okay, so are we voting?
Yeah, who's
Some
voting for
point we
Thunder
have
Road?
to-
I'm voting for Thunder Road.
I'm voting for Thunder Road too.
1, 2, and Tim said Thunder Road as well. And Tougher Than the Rest.
Yeah.
Yeah, me too.
Okay, Jesse.
I've got to go Thunder Road.
What? No,
I know.
my
I
romantic.
know,
But
I'm
his
sorry.
whole question, his whole Mary question pivots on that song.
Yeah.
Okay.
There's not that existential question in Tougher Than the Rest there is in Thunder Road. Okay, you got me there.
Yep.
All
Sad.
right. So now we've got the bronze medal playoff for third place, which is Darkness against Tougher Than the Rest. Who's voting for Darkness?
Oh,
No.
Okay.
Three.
thought-
Three
wait.
people.
Yeah. Okay.
How many vote for Darkness again? 3.
Versus-
Okay. Against 2.
Wait, I'm confused now. Okay, so it's Darkness versus Tougher.
Yeah.
this
right
is
now,
for third place.
yeah,
this
for
is for
third
third
place.
place.
This is the bronze medal
okay.
game.
See, I had to take a second. Okay.
yes.
Okay.
So we have Darkness and Tougher Than the Rest. As he talked about, he's making his pitch right at the end of the night on Tougher Than the Rest, Darkness on the Edge of Town. He's talking about where he's at. Hope, depression.
One's the start of a relationship and the other one's the end, isn't it?
Yes.
Lover is still a start because he's in the bar and he's asking
Yes,
the woman.
That's what I mean. But in Darkness
Yeah.
is the end of a relationship.
Yeah.
But in
he's
Darkness,
the-
I feel like it's more unrequited love.
I think the
Yeah.
guy in Tougher Than the Rest is the one from Darkness. He just left the bridge and went to the bar.
Yeah.
Okay, this we've got what 3 for Darkness. Who
Yep, Darkness here.
Darkness
Yeah, Darkness.
and Tougher.
Tougher.
Okay, so it's actually 3-2 to Tougher.
Chris, you and Henrik look like you're calling in from Darkness on the Edge of Town.
Yes, you're
So
starting
it's
to see.
it's 20
Yeah,
past 8
I
here.
was gonna say good morning to Henrik, but it's nighttime.
Yeah, it's nighttime. It's
Now, what's
8:30.
But now,
It's not
Is it-
agreeing
Okay.
with us.
all right. So to the final.
Okay.
Drum roll. Racing in the Street against Thunder Road.
Oh.
Anyone want to put their
I would have
opinion
guessed.
across?
I would have guessed we'd end up with Born to Run and Thunder Road.
I would have
Yeah.
guessed
Where
that.
if I had placed my money on my Rolodex. So I'm a little surprised that our matchup, and I almost want to go, and I realize I'm only going to vote if there's a tie, but as much as I love Thunder Road, that racing in the street just speaks in so many ways.
Good choice.
Yeah,
And as you were saying, Jesse, one of your previous guests, who I can't remember, said
Yeah.
Racing in the Street is like the sequel to
Yeah,
Thunder Road.
it really is. Yeah.
It's ironic, but they've both ended up in the final.
It will be interesting to see what the Twitter poll comes out to.
Yeah.
Okay, so we're going to vote. Racing in the Street.
My namesake.
Wow. 4, 5, and then
And Timothy had said Thunder Road, right?
Yeah.
Wow. I am a little surprised.
Is this where the tournament master gets the wild card choice? And
No.
This is going to be more controversial than the ticket prices.
Yes, it will. I feel good about our decisions. I think we had a good discussion, and this is great. This was so much fun. All right, yes, I will put out a poll. Steve, you had something you wanted to show and
Well, I
tell?
was just going to say, I've got my office pool brackets here.
Yeah.
And if I had filled out my bracket, I would have guessed Border on Darkness, Thunder Road, and probably Rosalita as my final 4. So this is
of Rosalita when we did, but at the same time, not. That's a weird one.
Go ahead, finish, Steve.
I just think that it's an interesting mix. I see how we got here, but it's okay. Totally, I would have been off base on 3 of my 4 final 4 picks.
Okay, so you see why now I keep campaigning on Twitter that he needs to play Racing at this tour? Do you see why I make this campaign?
Well, and
I was with you that whole time.
so what I love is diverse age group, diverse backgrounds, and so I think it's pretty good. So yeah, I agree with you, Steve. I would have had something similar to that, and I was like, I almost think this is going to be anticlimactic because we're going to be Born to Run Thunder Road, and then we'll have a discussion. So good. Darrin, any thoughts?
Listen, I'm happy the way it went. Racing in the Street, I think, is one of my all-time favorite songs. And you can just sit back and feel every emotion in that song. And it's got some of the most beautiful lyrics. It spoke to me.
The piano.
Yeah, the piano's so beautiful. So beautiful. It's a beautiful song, and I think it's a well-deserved winner on this one for sure. And not surprising that it was up against what it was.
Yeah, what I think is interesting too is we got that 78 Racing in the Street from The Promise, and then we got the actual studio reverse, so we had 2 different versions. Yeah. Henrik, any thoughts? Last thoughts?
I always liked the album version better of Racing than the promised version of it.
Yeah.
Actually, you got it right the first time.
Yeah, I think so.
I'm surprised we'd get there because I always thought that Darkness is the best album, followed by Tunnel of Love, and then I'm not really sure going for The River and Nebraska, or maybe Born to Run, but Born to Run is down there. So I felt that, but I was not sure we were going to get there. I was definitely putting my money on Thunder Road against Born to Run, as always.
Yeah, very
You know
nice.
what would have done it for Thunder Road, or what would have weighed that vote a little bit more for me, was that chess tape that came out. It was live 78 to 88, I think, the videos, all the music videos.
Yeah.
And Bruce in Thunder Road, when he's facing Clarence and he's playing the guitar and he's grinning like you couldn't beat the smile off his face. And just that joy of playing rock and roll with his pals, that's one of the great moments, and always sends shivers up my spine.
Absolutely.
But, yeah.
I think
Rachel,
we
go
should.
ahead, Jaclyn.
I was gonna say we should tag all of the band members with our collective decision to send a message so they play it on the tour.
Absolutely. Yeah.
The idea.
Rachel, any final thoughts?
Darkness is my favorite album. Racing is my favorite song. So needless to say, I'm happy with the results, but I was a little, I don't know, I was a little surprised on some of the twists and turns we wound up, and I was surprised at myself too. Like, some of my votes, I was like, I know I said probably so many times it became annoying, but when I was like, oh my God, am I doing this? I can't believe I'm doing this, because I would not have expected to vote the way I did, but we had good discussions along the way, and I don't know, I just feel like it made me want to listen to more songs that I haven't in a while. Like, honestly, the whole Magic album, couldn't tell you the last time I listened to that.
Good point.
Yeah,
Steve?
just all around.
thank you for joining us. We're going to get you on a full-time episode sometimes, but thanks for joining us. This was great. Any final thoughts?
No, like I said, I think I said my piece of.
Okay.
If I had guessed the bracket, I wouldn't have.
Yeah.
There are definitely some of the earlier matchups where I would have been flipping a coin trying to guess what everybody else thought, and so there were definitely some surprises. I'm shocked that Born to Run didn't make it into the final. Like I said, I can understand with the cinematic masterpiece that is racing, why it's where it is.
Very nice.
I feel like this is a testament of proof that we're all real fans, because Born to Run was such a radio hit, and that album was what catapulted him. And real fans, authentic fans, they don't always go for radio hits.
Yeah, sounds good.
Definitely.
Chris, thank you for organizing this. Thanks for being great applause.
Yes,
Way to
thank
go.
you.
Great job, Chris. Any final thoughts before we get out of here?
Thank you, Jesse, for running with the idea, and thanks for everyone else for sticking around for I think 3.5 hours now.
So yeah,
it's a big chunk of everybody's Saturday. So I'm grateful that everybody's participated.
All right. This is Jesse Jackson. I hope you've enjoyed this discussion. This has been so much fun. For Darrin, Henrik, Timothy, Chris, Steve, Rachel, and Jaclyn, thank you guys. I hope to see all of you at a show sometime soon. For the rest of you, audience, enjoy this celebration of hitting 1,000 episodes, and be kind, be safe, and we'll talk to you soon.